restart or re-login. Just give one minute to me.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Take your time. Take your time, ma'am. No problem.
No, I think it is clear now. You can continue.
Okay, 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 madam. So good afternoon, one and all. Again, we are here at 3:30 p.m. for our session number 9, which will be delivered by Rotarian Sharmila Garnaik from VSS UT Bulla upon the title Health and Happiness. Well, as you know, audience, that we are having this technical FTP of 5 days FTP, but still the technical knowledge, whatever we are sharing, we are gaining the ideas. They are all derived from philosophical as well as spiritual modes. So, as we know, there are adhyatmic modes, there are spiritual modes, philosophical modes. So, definitely, in between the technical sessions, there should be a session which is related to health, happiness, yoga, all the spiritual factors, the philosophical factors, because audience, every time these technical things, they are derived from this phenomena only, from the spiritual philosophical phenomena only. So whenever we want to do something new, some innovation, research, anything, then we need a healthy mind, a healthy body, and happiness is the key success for everything. That is why in between the technical sessions, definitely we should go for a session that is related to health, happiness, yoga, philosophy, spiritualism, everything. So without any further delay, let me introduce to you all Rotarian Sharmila Garnaik, who has completed her BTech in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering from Utkal University in the year 2001. Then MTech in Communication System Engineering from UCE Bulla in 2008, and presently she is pursuing her PhD at VSS UT Bulla. And her research area is VLSI signal processing. Along with these technical skills, she is also currently working as the secretary in Rotary Club Bulla. And this thing, during the pandemic period, she took this as an opportunity during the pandemic period, and diverted towards this direction of this health, happiness, this spiritualism, philosophy, everything. And in addition, she is also certified in yoga. She is certified yoga wellness instructor, yoga teacher, and evaluator by Yoga Certification Board, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. And she is also a level 3 certified yoga trainer. She has been a resource person for yoga related activities both inside as well as outside of the VSS UT campus. Well, now without any further delay, I would like to request Rotarian Sharmila Garnaik to proceed with the session upon health and happiness. Ma'am?
Thank you, Asina madam, for a nice introduction. Though I don't deserve this long introduction, I am very much new to this field. Still, I am very happy and privileged that Dr. Sasanka introduced me in this hotel program, and I am very much thankful to you. Thank you, Asya madam, once again. Can I? Acha, okay, I think voice is double. Yes.
Yeah,
Are you
ma'am.
also hearing this echo sound?
Okay, Asya ma'am, can you mute? Let me check. Now, ma'am, you can repeat.
Okay, let me present.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually, if two devices are on
yeah.
mute, then it's coming
Yeah,
echo.
fine. Due to the Asya ma'am mic, it was a problem. Okay,
Okay.
good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Okay, ma'am. You can start.
Thank you, Sasank, for inviting me. Though as I was telling, I am very new to this field. Still, you believe me and invite me. I am very much thankful and uh, privileged. And I hope I'll not bore you at least. Let's see how can I justify this the vast field of health and happiness. Let me share my screen first.
Sure, ma'am. This is a relaxed moment, so you don't want to again always in the technical mode. You have to relax. So that's why that particular topic is beneficial to all the
Actually,
friends.
this is only the technical, you can say. just like we are, wait, whenever there is suppose we are using any instrument, is it visible? My slide is visible?
Now we can
Now we
open
can
the
open the
PPT
PPT.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
this
visible now.
time.
This time.
Okay. Let me, yeah. Now, is it fine now?
It's fine, fine.
Okay, okay. So, as I was saying that until and unless we know the driver of the car, how can we manage to run the car efficiently? That's why we know all the systems. That is, suppose the computer, everything we technological part we know, but if we are not able to run the computer, so who is running the computer? Who is driving the car? What is the anatomy physiology, what is the exactly what architecture, what fundamental behind the driver itself, who is running, who is after all these technologies. So we must know about some architecture, some functional part of this. So that's why we are here to discuss about health and happiness. Though it is a very vast subject, health and happiness, it is very much difficult to uh, summarize within very stipulated time. But let's see how much we can explore. So uh, first we'll see what is health, what is happiness, and how they are related, interrelated with each other. So if we'll quote some spiritual gurus, the world-known spiritual gurus, Dalai Lama ji, he said happiness is the highest form of health. And Sister Sibani, BK Sister Sibani also thought that my thoughts create happiness and health. My body is perfect and healthy. So it depends upon how we are in mental level. If we are happy, automatically my body is happy, and also the vice versa. If my body is healthy, then my mind is also happy. So it is go hand in hand. That is happiness and health. So if we are going to define at the from the modern medical science point of view, or you can say WHO or World Health Organization, what he says, health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being. So, or not merely absence of disease or infirmity. So, but you can see it says the state of complete physical, mental, social well-being. But still, now we are finding it is insufficient a definition, because even if there is a body, so complete physical means absence, totally absent of disease, it is not possible. So whenever there is a body, there is some imbalances in body, some dosas in body. So due to that, some disease may be there. But if we mentally strong and socially strong, financially strong, economically strong, physically strong, then we can overcome that. So that is not a problem at all, or disease at all, we can say. So gradually and subsequently, it talks about the holistic health, that comes about the other dimension, the most important dimension of the health, that is the social, emotional, mental, and spiritual and biological fitness. So along with the body, our mental status, our social status, our financial status, and the most important is spiritual status. So everything goes hand in hand, so that we can say one is a healthy person. Again, if we'll go to the Ayurveda, in Susruta Samhita, it is written that Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu Malakriya, Prasanna Atma Indriya Manaha Swastha Iti Vidyate. What does it mean? Samadosha, dosha, there are some these are the parameter of body. There are three types of dosa, you might have known, that kapha, pitta, and uh, mm, vata, pitta, and kapha. Vata something related to air, uh, Pitta is something related to our Agni, that is, and Kapha is related to our Phalgam. So this must be in balance. So always you can see that is a sama dosha. So it must be in balance. So body, but in bodily level, this first line represent the balance in body, physically we must be in balanced way. So kapha, the dosas are balanced. Agnischad, our Jಠर Agni, our metabolism is balanced, or our digestion is balanced. Sama dhatu, all sapta dhatu, our body, the physical body is made up of dhatus, seven dhatus. So that dhatus are rakta, rasa, masti, maja, mansa, meda, sukra. So these are balanced, and malakriya, that means our excretion is good. Also, that is not important. The health definition does not end here. It is also prasanna atma indriya manaha swastha iti vidyate. So prasanna, if you are mentally in happy in prasanna, atma, that is soul. If you are happy in soul, if you are happy in indriya, all the your karma indriya and jnana indriya, if you are sense organs, if they are happy, then swastha iti vidyate, or mana, that is the most important thing, mana. So three parameter, these are, you can say, these are the for the health is a combination, total package of hardware and software, you can say. Hardware means your body, physical level, and software means your mana, atma, indriyas. They are the software part of your entity or being. So the three, those are, as I said, three, those are digestive, fire and all. So then who is the healthy person then? What is swasthya? In Ayurveda, healthy is coined by this term swastha. So these are two terminology that is added with to form this word. One is swa, SW is swa, and another is tha. So swa means I or the self, and tha is abiding or seated. That means abiding in one's own self is self. So if we are happy, that is the atma. You can see prasanna atma. If we are abiding, it's our own self, then it is a swastha or healthy person, you can say. So again, what is then I? Who is that I? That we need to define first. Instead of we know that if imbalance is there, that is unhealthiness. If balance is there, that is healthy. And healthy means that is not only in the body, but in the mind, but in sense organ, but in the atma or I or shwa. That is our swarupa. You must have heard about Adi Guru Shankaracharya. He beautifully described his own identification. Who are you? He asked by his guru. He beautifully described Mano Buddhi Ahankara, the Nirvana Shatakam. Mano Buddhi Ahankara, Chitta Ninadam, Nacha Satram Jivya, Na Graha Netra, Nacha Vyomo Bhumi, Na Tejo, Na Vayu, Chidananda Swarupam, Sivoham Sivoham. So I'm not this sense organ, I am not this Pancha Mahabhuta, the Bhumi, Jala, Vayu, Agni, Akasa. So who am I? Then I am that Sat Chit Ananda, that is the Sat Chidananda Swarupam, Sivoham. So if we'll go again in Bhagavad Gita also we defined who am I. So it is defined the soul is the I actually, and we are what I am using, that is I am using my body, I am using my mind, I am using my sense organ, I am using my different sense organ, that is karmendriya and gyanendriya, all these I am using, but who is the one who is using this all these things? So this is I actually, self, or you can say Atma. So we must know what is the actual, uh, um, actual I. Then only we can say that I am healthy or I am not healthy. So again, as I said, this is health and happiness. It is written here, Sat Chit Ananda, being consciousness and bliss. Sat is the eternal truth, or you can say the knowledge, and Chit is the eternal consciousness or the universal consciousness, and Ananda is the bliss or eternal happiness or bliss. So that is the true nature of every being. So we must explore this, we must know our true nature, then only we can preserve this quality, or we will just work for this. So until and unless we know the architecture or we know the functional in it, how can we use that or how can we improve that? So this is, you can say, it is the health and happiness is nothing but it's the two side of a coin. You can here you can see health and happiness are the two. So as I said, health is, you can say, health is happiness and happiness is also health, and vice versa. When health is there, happiness is automatically there. When happiness there, health is there. So they go hand in hand. Again, I can request all participants, you can interact me at any time. Okay. So or you can ask doubt or interrupt me at any time. I cannot see the chat box right now, so you can interrupt me at any time if you want to discuss something. Is it fine? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So again, then we'll go for the, then we see the definition of health, right? Then we'll see what is happiness then. So in the happiness, we know all this happiness. That is the only, you can say, driving force for this human existence. Or whatever we are doing, uh, any physical, any activities in life. So it is only for the happiness only. That is the main goal. You can say that that blissful. We need that bliss. Again, what we want? We want permanent happiness. We don't. So, can anybody want a temporary happiness? Sometimes happy, sometimes sorrow, sometimes sad. Nobody, na? So all are after that eternal happiness or eternal bliss. Why? Why? Because we are out made up of that. We are happiness. That's why we need happiness, or we want to remain in happiness. That is in the in very interestingly described in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Bali. Let us not go to that Upanishad. What it is telling, that I am just putting here. Sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. So our aim of life, you can say, that is the sukha prapti. Whatever we are doing in our life, that is only for the sukha prapti, not in dukkha nivritti. We don't want to be sad or dukkhi. So what is happiness then? Again, it is very interestingly shown in this graph that you can see, that is the happiness analysis. So if you can see, whenever there are actually three terms, we relate, we cannot distinguish, sometimes we overlapping that three terms, you can say sukha, shanti and ananda. So sometimes we take all the three are same, but they are not same. Sukha something related to our sense organ. So sometimes it is giving us the temporary happiness, that is called the sukha, or it is related to sense. That means, or you can say, you can relate like that. If there is abundant, then it might go to the dukkha also. This that same sukha, here taken the example of a rasagalla. If we will take rasagalla, you take you want you very much happy with eating rasagalla. If 1 2 3 you are taking, if you will go on adding, putting the rasagallas into your mouth, then that will be no more a happiness for you. That will bring you sorrow only. So that is the, because of the sense organ, what we are getting, that is sukha. And shanti is something related to our mind. Again, again, see, sometimes we are very seeing some natural things, we are very much happy or peace. So that is in the mind. But whenever we just listen to another bad news or something, that just that same situation will not give you peace anymore. So that is shanti. But ananda is the bliss. That is the soul, that is eternal. Whatever, irrespective of the people and situation, we are happy or blissful. That is our innate nature. Again, if we'll go to the medical science, we'll see how our stress or the mental trauma will affect our bodily level. That we can see from this slide, that here the stress generated some chemicals, or the some nerve signals generated here, that is impact to our nerve cells, and that nerve cells coming to this, that putting some signals to this adrenal gland. Adrenal is the pea like gland situated on our kidney, and that secretes some adrenal secretion or hormones, you can say. That is the epinephrine and neuropharine. So these are used for the short term stress response. Whenever there is a requirement of suppose bodily activity, suppose you see a tiger, you have to run, so you need some stress is generated, that that means you need to run, some physical activities needs to be done. So for the running you need glucose, some energy, some your blood pressure must high, your breathing must high, and the metabolic rate is high, or you can say this is required, this stress is required. So short term stress, sometimes it is required to our work, to get our work done. If it is, if there is no stress, means there is no work at all, you can say. So stress is required, or short term is, it is good for our system. But when it is the prolonged, this stress, this eustress also it is prolonged, then what happens, this hypothalamus releasing some hormone to the pituitary gland. This is the master gland, you can say. It is situated inside our you can say in the brain, lower part of the brain, so middle part of the brain. So this pituitary gland secretes some hormones from this adrenal cortex, you can say. These are the steroids are generated. So this steroid is mineralocorticoid or glucocorticoids. So what are the effect of these steroids? So these are the effect of long term stress. It may this mineralocorticoid retain the sodium ions and waters in the kidney and increase blood volume. If water retention is there, increase of blood volume, that causes to blood pressure. And also this glucocorticoid function is to it breaks the protein and fats into glucose cells. So that means our in blood our glucose level increases, that leads to diabetes. Also the immunity system, these are the steroids, right? So immunity system goes down, and so this is only the one example I am telling, how our, if we are not happy or we are stressful for a longer period of time, then how it affects our body directly. That's we need to know. Then what is the
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sure.
Ma'am, I want to interrupt
Yes.
here. Oh, there is
Yeah,
one
yeah.
question in the chat box by one participant, Orupanand Pradhan. The question is like that: is there Sukha and Anand necessary for healthy life?
That in the very beginning slide I told you that Sukha, if Sukha and Ananda is not there, then what we will do this, what is the necessary to do any work at all, or any existence, our, what do you need, what do you need at the end of the day? Anybody, what is the purpose, why we are here, why we are doing some work, where go for the activities, why we are achieving something, what is the need? At the end of the day, or end of the day, only we all are, we are doing anything, any are wanting anything, we are achieving anything, our progress, any activities in our life, starting from birth to death, only for the happiness, sukha or ananda only, because we are ananda, we are self. Am I clear or
Yes, madam, absolutely.
so we'll go for Alright. Please mute yourself if your question is over because it is coming echo.
No, yeah, ma'am. Continue, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So from this slide, so we'll see how we'll get the answer to all these queries. How we keep our body as well as mind healthy. That is the our question. Yes or not? So what we will perceive from this slide? Can anybody say what I am trying to give? What this AN, this WSR, what they are representing actually? Can anybody say?
It means the answers for getting happiness in
Yeah,
all
very
of
much
these.
right. These are the answers to our all these questions. Whether how we'll be happy, will be how we'll be healthy. That is the answer. So this ANSWERS. So it is the from the modern science or medical point of view, I can say A stands for air. So we need a healthy breathing or healthy air. Then N stands for nutrition, that you know very well that how nutrition is the very much vital for our existence. Nutrition means good food, good, not that that is some very will define later what is the meaning of food and what type of food, quality of food, and how much, what is the quantity of food, and what is the in what status we will take food. That we'll discuss in brief, that but we'll see the food is the nutritive food. That means it's the live food, you can say. We will not prefer any dead food, because dead food is nothing to do with our life, because we need food for our life. So live food we need at the end of the day. So another important parameter for our existence or health or happiness, you can say, it is a sunlight. It is also very important, sunlight. So you need to be in sun, direct sun. Under the direct sun, the most of the your skin must be exposed to the direct sunlight. It is very important, or it is important when you are in the sunrise time or sunset time. Both are important, but sunrise is most preferable, because at that time the air is also, you will get a pure air, you can say. So sunlight, we must keep ourselves under the sun, sometimes at least 1 hour a day, that is required. Then if for exercise, that is again we'll see what is exercise, what is asana, yogasana, that we'll see. And we need some exercise, some physical activities, you can say, some physical activities we need here. Then water, you must know all these things. Water, again, water is very very vital, important for us. But how much water, how what is the texture of water, what is the quantity of water, and how the water should be taken, that is important. Again, if it is a medical science, modern science, or if it is a Ayurvedic concept, the water has a very vital effect of on our body or health or mind also. It is very it is directly affect the mind also. Sometimes whenever people are get angry suddenly, they advise to take some water, glass of water. Don't it? Does not it? So you might have heard that take some glass of water. It is a very cooling effect. The water itself is a cooling. Its a property is cooling. So how much you need to take water? No, you must be knowing that 7 to 8 to 10 glass is important, or 2 to 3 liter a day, a normal adult, for a normal adult. So again, it is saying that the water should be taken at least 1 hour after your meal. So as soon as you eat, you should not take water, because if you take water, it will dilute your acid secretion. So the digestion will not happen properly. So that is the fundamental rule of taking the water. Your quantity of water must be adequate, and the timing, that is very much important. Then rest, we know that proper sleep And rest means both. It is not only the rest in physical level or bodily level, but rest to the mind also. Because the mind is that whenever we sleep also, the mind is behind working. It is there. We are dreaming, we are some disturbances they going on, so sleep disturbance occur. Sometimes we could not get our sleep also properly. So it is very much important to take rest means rest has very important parameter, but it is in physical as well as your mind level. So you need to do some yoga nidra kind of thing, or any mental calming down before you go to the sleep. And definitely you are not using any gadgets during this at going to the bed or before 2 hours going to the bed. Again, your food is also like that. You must take the food before 2 hours before going to sleep. So after 2 hours only, you can go to, if you will go to sleep, then your sleep will be adequate, and your metabolism and your proper energy you will get. So that means it is advised to take the food, at least the dinner much before you are going to sleep. Again, the sleep time is there. Sleep time must be that is as our ancient days, the people are just sleeping as soon as the sun sets. But nowadays we can't do that. Could not. So we'll wake up till night, but it should not be much late night. Maximum 10 to 11 we must sleep. Rather, we can just wake up at 3 4. After 3 Brahma Muhurta also starts, so you can wake up after 3 or 4. So it is better to have before sunrise. If you will wake up, that is a very good health you will achieve, or that is a very healthy sign of your um, progress. So these are the fundamental law. Another is the most important thing, the spirituality. So whenever there is, we must know what is who we are and what is the source, so that we can remember that what actually we need and what actually we have to do. And being in work, what I will just um, think, that is the important. What is our thinking do while doing the work, that affect all our work as well as our body as well as our health, all these things. So this is we are already discussed. Then if we'll say the yogic concept of healthy living, uh, see the very important term is coming, that is yoga, or you can say yoga. Actually it is not yoga. Nowadays people are uttering like yoga, but it is not yoga anymore. It is yoga. Yoga means you can see that there is a root word, Sanskrit root word use. It is the yoga derived from use, uh, root word. So use means joining. So it is already said, yujayate anana iti yoga. Yoga is that which joins. So joining of what? Which two? What is the two entity that is yoga is joining? So it is joining between. You can say it is joining of universal consciousness to individual consciousness. That means jivatma to paramatma. You can say from the yogic point of view, that is the connection or union between our self to universal conscious self, or the higher self, or the eternal self, you can say. We are also the part of that universal consciousness. We are also consciousness, and the union, we are just forgetting our true consciousness or our true self. So yoga helps us to join to our source, you can say source, or the universal or just like you can say there are waves in the sea. So there is no, you cannot separate between the waves and the individual waves and the entire sea. The waves are also the part of the sea only. The characteristics of sea are there in the characteristics of waves. Or you can say, just like if you take one example, suppose in a pot, earthen pot, there is some air inside. The empty earthen pot is there, and just someone is holding that earthen pot in air. So the air inside, you can say, that is you, and the air outside is the universe or universal consciousness. So whenever there is the earthen pot is broken, then there is no distinguish between the air inside the earthen pot and air outside the earthen pot. Are you getting my point now? So
Yes,
yes,
ma'am. It is clear, ma'am. Continue, ma'am.
that means whenever if that means you can consider that earthen pot as your body or your existence. So there is the characteristics of the outside the earthen pot and inside the earthen pot is same. The soul, the universal consciousness, or the supreme soul, you can say. Supreme soul, what are the supreme soul characteristics? That is our characteristics only. So we need to know that our true identity or true self, so we can achieve, or we can try to achieve that true self, or try to reach that true sense of ourself. So that here that yoga uh, helps us to unite. So there are according to Pranini, three definition you can say: yuji yoga, yuji samadhi, yuji samana. Yoga means that is the union, samadhi is the concentration, samayam is the control. So we'll see. Okay, it is. I think it is missing. Is it visible? No, na. Bhagavad Gita. According to Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Is it not? It is not visible, right?
Not visible, ma'am. Only
I think it is somehow missed. I don't know why. Just I am telling what yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. What yoga Sri Krishna tells about yoga. Yoga, he tells us samatvam yoga uchyate, and that means balance is yoga. And he also tells yoga in yoga karmashu kausalam. Bhagavad Gita Sankhya Yoga 2.48 and 2.50. It is written, if you can say, or I can also just 1 minute. 2. 48 योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त धनंजय सिद्ध सिद्ध समभूत्वा योग समत्वम युज. So siddha or siddha, both you will equanimity in both, either in siddhi or asaddha, that is yoga. And in 2.50 also tells that buddhi yukta jahatiyo ubhe sukrute diskrute tasmad yogaya yujyasya yoga karmashu kausalam. So yoga is the karmashu kausalam. So that you just go for that yoga, that will give you skill in action. And what happens if you will put in you effort for yoga? Then he tells in the Dhyana Yoga 6.17, that is iktahara viharasya iktachestasya karmasya iktasapno babhadisya yoga bhavati dukkha. So yukta hara viharasya, your ahara vihara yukta chestasya karmasya, your karma, your ahara vihara and yukta swapna bhavadisya nidra, that is swapna means your rest, as we discussed, that is a rest or the yukta swapna bhavadisya yoga bhavati dukkha. Yoga can eliminate your dukkha. Then Maharishi Patanjali is the father of yoga. He wrote Yoga Sutra, the great philosophical book, that is the yoga book. that is Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. He wrote Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So what is yoga? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chitta is our mind. Vritti are the functions or modifications of mind. If it is the function of mind ceases, Nirodha means ceases or stealing. Stealing the fluctuation mind. If mind fluctuates, then our we'll see the happiness fluctuates, our the mental status, our emotional status fluctuates, our social status fluctuates, our actions skill fluctuate. So we are in the imbalanced state. So yoga comes to it, helps us to become uh, tranquil, or you can say yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So what happens if chitta vritti if ceases? Then tada drastu swarupe avasthanam. Patanjali Yoga Sutra, first chapter he has written 1.3, first chapter, that is Samadhi Pada. Four padas are there. We will not discuss. Let's not discuss that things. So tada drashtu swarupe avasthana. That means then the seer establishes in his own essential nature. So when we still our mind, we can establish our true nature or the self nature, the self atma. That is the. Then Kathopanishad tells the same thing. Tama yogam iti manyate sthiram indriyam dharanam. Sthiram indriyam dharanam. Again the sense the again the mind fluctuate because of what? Because of that our sense organ. That sense organ is after some these that worldly materialistic things. So when our indriyas are sthira or we feel control that materialistic, our mind get control. That is the yoga. The then Vasishtha also in Yoga Vasishtha, Maharshi Vasishtha also tells Rama that mana prashamanna paya yoga itya vidhiyate. So mana yoga is the tactful method of calm the mind. Your mind is very much you trying to distract you always at very because it is telling that mono mind is the master of all the sense organs, so that drives or control the sense organs. So that is the this yoga is the tactful method of calm the mind. So all are telling only the mind. So our how to control, and you can see it is just like energy, or you can say the electricity, you can say. If we'll control it and we utilize it in our benefit, then it will give the tremendous benefit to us. But if it is uncontrolled, then you can say what will just like a fire, or right. So should we move forward?
Yes, ma'am. Continue.
So again, there are our human existence. Actually, we can see this physical body, but actually there are five sheath or panchakosha are there. One is our physical body or sthula sarira, we can say, that is the food sheath or annamaya kosha. Then there are three sukma sarira or subtle body, the pranamaya kosha, manamaya kosha, and Vijnanamaya kosha, vital sheath, mental sheath, and intellectual sheath. Then causal sheath is the Karana Sarira or bliss sheath or Anandamaya kosha. So these five are compromises our all total existence, our human existence. That means you can say human and there are two terms again, human and being. So what is human and what is being? Human is the physical entity, or that is the humus, the term derived from the humus. Humus is your five pancha mahabhuta, your bhumi, jala, vayu, agni, akas. So pancha mahabhuta, our body is made up of, that is called annamaya kosha or sthulas or the physical body. And besides that, we have our pranamaya kosha, that vital sheath with this breathing, our prana flows, breathing occurs. That is our in pranamaya kosha, that monomaya koshas, that are the other state of our mind. Then vijnanamaya kosha is our intellect or the discriminative power, intellectual sheath, and the lastly we'll reach to this blissful seat, Anandamaya Kosha. So this is our main objective, is to starting from this Annamaya Kosha or food seat, we must reach to this blissful seat. Whenever we reach to this blissful seat, there will be no conflict at all. So you can see in this diagrammatically same thing. We'll discuss them all in detail. So starting from the Annamaya Kosha to then Maharshi Patanjali, the great, the father of yoga, he describes in with this the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, for the, you can say it is the complete package for all this seat, all this layer of our existence, starting from the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, uh, your Manomaya Kosha, and your Vijnanamaya Kosha, and so and your Anandamaya Kosha, that is the bliss seat. So everything is governed by our what? This Atman. This is the self. What we are discussing right now. This is the self. Atman only govern all these things. That means you can see this is observable, this is observable, this is observable. This is Vijnanamaya Kosha also, someone is deciding. Okay. And Anandamaya Kosha is the bliss, that who is experiencing that bliss? This Atman. This is our true nature. So Maharishi Patanjali, the great, says, he described all this Ashtanga Yoga for all these five seats: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Besides this Yama, Niyama are the code of conduct. Before any action, we'll do some discipline. First sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is Samadhi Pada, he described Atha Yoga Anushasana. Then second sutra is the Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So Yatha Yoganu Shasana. Yoga is the complete art of science of discipline, you can say. So these two limbs describing the discipline or the code of conduct. What must be your social code of conduct? What must be your personal code of conduct? I have forgotten to mention all this in detail. Just I am telling it. You just listen. Yama are the five yamas, that are ahimsa, satya, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya. These are very social code of conduct. We must be in ahimsa. We must be non-violence, that is ahimsa. And we must tell the truth always, that is satya. We must not steal anything. Steal does not mean the physical stealing. If whenever we are seeing some good things of others, we are thinking that can I get that one? So that is also a some form of stealing. Or we will just take some things for us only, for collect something. So that is also a form of stealing, you can say. Very subtle form, but that is also stealing. So asteya, then aparigraha. Aparigraha is the most important thing. So that is only the door, that aparigraha. First I am defining that aparigraha means non-collection of things more than you require. That is the actually vital role of aparigraha. That means we should not collect more things than we require. Whenever we are going to collect more and more things, suppose I have one vehicle, I'll say another vehicle, mobile phone. Suppose we have one mobile phone, then people are having 2 3 mobile phones, and managing this mobile phone, some these the social medias, then these are not become at the subsequently it will become a restlessness, you can say. So managing things, or that to achieve more and more, we are just keeping our happiness out, or we are in the very, as I said, that is the our modification or mind, or there is very much mind disturbed will be there. So aparigraha is the uh, you can say this is the doorway to go to the yogic life, or you stay established in yourself. What you need actually, you know, you need nothing, you need nothing in the life. Minimum must need, but people are there just accumulating things, and there is no end of that, no desire, no end to that desire also. So that's the social then last one is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, again, there is not nothing to celibacy, but it is brahmacharayate iti brahmacharya. That means we see the Brahma or the uh, supremeness in every creature or every individual entity of the nature. The niyama are the five: Saucha, Santosa, Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhana. Saucha is the our cleanliness. Again, the cleanliness, any action starts from our cleanliness only. So cleanliness does not mean only the physical cleanliness, but it is the mental cleanliness also. Then santosa is a contentment. Whatever we are getting or we are having, we must content. Then we'll go for the with the contentment. We'll go for the higher achievement or higher progress. But we are not contented at any point of time. We are just keep on. We are postponing our happiness. If this will I will achieve, then I will be happy. This will get, I will be happy, but in that process we never be happy. So first we'll contented. Once you contented whatever you are there in the present situation, then you are in the happy state, and being happy, then doing for the further work. But if we are postponing, if this will happen, then we will be happy. If this will happen, then this never becomes come to an end, or you will never become happy in that process. Then other three are Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhana. Again, these three are the most important. Maharishi Patanjali says, Samadhi Bhavanarthe Klesha Tanukarana is Kriya Yoga. It is called Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga. So Tapa is the austerity. You must work very hard. Swadhyaya is the self-analysis. You must analyze yourself, whether you are what you are doing, whether it is good, or some analysis must be there. And Ishvara Pranidhana, surrender to God. Surrender to God means there is nothing called the some idol or something. God means, again, that is a supreme consciousness or supreme soul. The same, the all or the truth is God. The bliss is God. Sat Chit Ananda we have seen, that is God. So remain in the keep your mind to God, or the in that state only. That is the surrender to God. You will always be in the surrendering self or the love for the a higher entity. So that is Ishvara Pranidhana. Then we'll see. Then pranayam, and we'll just just seeing this asana for our physical. Asana means yoga asana. It is for the physical body, and that the Annamaya Kosha, as we have discussed. So pranayama is for the pranamaya kosha. We'll discuss. Then pratyahara is the withdrawal of the sense organs, senses from their respective sense objects. Then dharana, concentration, dhyana, meditation, samadhi. We'll see just. So these are in the diagrammatical representation of these 8 limbs. Yama, niyama, it is already discussed. Asana is the yoga asana. It is for the physical body. Then some pranayama is prana and ayama. So it is for the pranamaya kosha, or the vital seat of our existence, that is the related to the breath. Then pratyahara, it is required for the manamaya kosha. To control our mind, we must be in the position of withdrawal of our senses. Where to withdraw, we must know. Just like your best example, your tortoise. Tortoise, you can see whenever there is a threat appears, it withdraw its limbs into its sheath. So just like that, whenever we'll feel that our mind is going towards something distraction, then we must control our mind. We must withdraw our mind from that senses. So that is the and you can say this is the very very vital important limb of this Ashtanga yoga. it, these are for our, you can say this is our physical body, and or this is our karma philosophy, or the karma suddhi, you can say. Asana is our annamaya kosha, pranayama is our but these are the physical bahiranga yoga. But whenever we draw the sense organ, we draw the senses, then only we can go to our internal journey or the reach to the samadhi. Samadhi is nothing but the self realization. So this is the steps to achieve this samadhi, true self. This is the uh, eternal state, or the Satchit Ananda, or self realization, you can say. That is achieved by this dharana. Dharana is concentration. First you concentrate upon some, that means we need to where to focus our mind. We need to know where to focus our mind, where to withdraw our mind. So if we'll withdraw our mind from the senses objective or the materialistic objects, we'll focus to the subtle or the higher purpose, or higher idea, or higher object, we can say. Then if it is prolonged, then it is called meditation. That means you just lost yourself. Suppose we are reading something, we are cooking something, we are driving. So we what will say, ध्यान से करो, ध्यान लगा के पढ़ो, ऐसे हम लोग बोलते हैं. तो ध्यान मतलब टू just lost your identity, your physical identity into the work or the idea you are holding at that particular point of time. That is dhyana. And samadhi, when you will establish in dhyana, your samadhi achieved, that is the self realization, or you can say this is the blissful state. Your self tattva dvanda vighatanam. So all complete, your elimination of the dvanda, all your conflicts are eliminated. Mahasi Patanjali said, Tvatta danda vighatanam. So all your conflicts eliminates, and you will be in the blissful or the eternal self. Again, this ahara, just it is not visible. I don't know what problem is there. Just I am telling that yuktahara. So in the Ayurvedic concept, what ahara tells about the that is a balanced diet. You can say that is there is a terminology called mitahara. Mitahara means how much to eat. Actually, it is in Ayurveda. It is saying you must eat half of your stomach. Whatever your stomach capacity, you must eat half of your stomach, and 1/4 you should fill it with water. Then another 1/4 you just leave it vacant. This is the concept of mitahara. Because you also already experienced, whenever you are in the mixie, if you are grinding something, if we'll just fill it up, then that will not work, right? So you must for the proper function or the working of your mixie, you must fill that your content into half of that. So just same as our body level also, we must fill, that is the stomach with half of the food or the solid food, and 1/4 of the liquid, and another 1/4 must space must be kept. So this is called mitahara. Then hitahara. What is hitahara? What is hita for us? Hita means our, again, it is depending upon the circumstances, depending upon the temperature, or you can say the environment. Something hita for you, that might not hita for me. That is person to person it varies. That the environment to environment it varies. So again, uh, suppose for some the rice is the hita ahara for them. For some the fruit is the hita. From some, for some cereals are the hita. So it depends upon the situation and also your body types. What is the type that the Ayurvedic, as we have discussed, the kapha, vata, pitta. So it is also depending upon your types what you should consume, that is hitar. Then Rutabhuk, another is important is Ritabhuk. So Ritahara, what is that? So you must take whatever you are taking, you must take with a consciousness that the blissful consciousness, happily you must consume that food, then only that food will work for you. Otherwise, in 15th verse chapter in Gita, there is one sloka is there, 15.15, I think. Ahang Vaishya Nara Ahang Vaishya Naravutta Praninang Dehamashrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachamyanam Chaturvidham. So Ahang Vaishya, God says, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Ahang Vaishya Naravut. So I am situated inside the Praninang Deha Masritaha. So inside the human body, and Prana Pana. Prana is our Prana Shakti, and some Vayu is there, Ayurvedic term is the Prana, Apana, Samana. Vayus are there that helps in the digestion process. So Prana, Pana, Shamayukta, Pachamyanam, Chaturvidham, four types of Chabya, Chesya, Lehya, Peya, four types of food I will digest them. So it is very important how you are taking the food. And these are some physical asanas. We will. This is for the Annamaya Kosha or the body level. This is a relaxation position. Padmasana is very much important. You must know what is the Padmasana. This is a short karma. Short karma are the cleansing processes. That dhoti, basti, neti, trataka. We are not going to that, but because of time limitation, these are the benefits you'll get after your physical yoga. This is important. This slide is important. Just we'll discuss little bit. This you said, what is the difference between yoga asana and physical practices? That the exercise point of view, or the some physical, some gymnastic aerobics we are doing also nowadays. But what is the difference between these two? This is your complete. You can say in Hatapradipika, Swami Swatmaram says it brings health, steadiness, and firmness. And in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it removal of the conflict. But here, that means here some awareness is there with the physical movement, some breathing awareness is there, some spiritual awareness is there. So we connect to our inner self while doing this asana, physical movement or physical postures. We need to concentrate our breathing pattern. We are concentrating our chakra, we are concentrating ourself. So this is the complete, you can say this is spiritual, or you can say here the parasympathetic nervous system are activated. So there are two nervous types of nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic nervous system function is to activate the activity, the outer activity are performed by the sympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system is for the our inner activity, or the calming down or slow down the parasympathetic. So in the yoga asana, our parasympathetic nervous system activates, but in the this here only sympathetic nervous system which consumes energy. That means after yogasana we feel very rejuvenated and refreshed, but in the non-yogic practical physical practice we feel tired. then some chances of injury, here there is no wear and tear, but here some wear and tear may occur. Then here it is physical body is an instrument for the journey to the perfection, but here we develop some muscles for a stylish body. It is the to make our body stylish, we uh, just practice this physical, but here with the complete awareness of the self will perform yogasana, so that it is lead to our inner journey, you can say. Developmental faculties so then coming to the pranamaya kosha or the vital sheath, it is very 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 important, because it is the vital sheath or vital force or energy, you can say, for our existence. Our energy is very much important. You can see here there are two terms, prana and ayama. So prana is the energy and ayama is the expansion or the control or regulated way of our breathing or energy, breathing energy. So whenever there is a controlled way, so in Sattaram says in Hatha Pratipika, Hatha Yoga, says chale batam chale chittam nischalam nischalam bhavet. So if bata moves, that means prana moves, this is the vital force, right? So if vata moves, chale chitta moves, chitta nischalam bhavet. So if we regulate our prana or breath, then it regulates our mind also, chitta also. That is a very vital effect, or you can say there are in yogic point, you can say there are certain nadis or channels, you can say, just like our signals. Being a telecommunication engineer, I can say that we are transmitting some signals energies, okay, right? So these are traveling through some channels. So here also that energy, the vital energy, traveling through some psychic channels, and the storehouse of this energy is the chakras, some energy centers. So these are very important. Through this pranayama practice, these channels or the nadis that are in Ayurvedic term, the yogic term, it is called nadis. These channels get purified and congestion free, so that the energy flows very energy flows to every part of our body very effortlessly, so that our oxygenation or the blood oxygenation will be easier, and that leads to a very calming, and our mind becomes tranquil, and that is very important to enrich our mind also. And in the common point of view also, you can see, if you are again that annamaya kosha, if your posture is correct, if I'm see if I'm sitting like this just bending, so our lung capacity is squeezed, but if I sit straight, then lung capacity will be increased. So you can say in this way. Otherwise there are three aspects. One is in pranayama, there are three aspects. One is puraka, one is rechaka, one is kumbhaka. So puraka is the inhalation, rechak is the exhalation, and kumbhaka is the retention. Okay, so retention may be inside or retention may be outside. If it is retention in inside, there is some other function that will let us not discuss about that. If the retention is outside, this is very much important parameter for the pranayama. You see, whenever there is a just, if you can say, sponge or any tube, if um, there is a sponge, some pores are there. So if we squeeze that sponge and we release that, that will absorb more water. Yes or no? So if we are keeping our breath in the outside, are you there? Are you all there and listening?
Yes, ma'am.
No question.
Yes, ma'am.
I am going fast.
No, no, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's
No,
interesting.
Is
madam,
it?
it is absolutely fine. It is very, very interesting session,
It is
ma'am.
excellent, ma'am. Excellent class.
Okay. But time is very less, so I need to. Let's see how much I can cover. There
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can extend up to the 10 to 15 minutes more, no problem.
Okay. No. People might be bored.
No, madam, not at all. We are not at all bored. This is a very, very interesting and informative session because
Thank you. Thank you so much.
in between
Okay.
technology, we need to relax, madam. That is why.
Okay, but it is okay. Okay, let's start. So, uh, whenever there is forcefully you retain the you will just not taking the breath. So what happens? Each cell. How can I just? Any not example coming in my mind. Suppose you are let's say you are hungry or you are very much thirsty. So what happened whenever in normal time if someone offer you a glass of water you will just take one or two sip, but when you are thirsty you just take two or three glass immediately, yes or not? So like that only, whenever we are deprived of, we are forcefully deprived of oxygen to our cells, so it is जस्ट जैसे छटपटा जाता है वो जो सेल्स. सो whenever there is a the breathing after some retention forcefully um, deprived of oxygen, when there is we try to inhale something, so more oxygen we can take, or the cells are filled with more oxygen. So that is again the importance of pranayama, you can say, or the importance of kumbhaka. So pranayam is very very important from our that is, you know, what is oxygen and what is the importance of oxygen in our existence, that you know very well. So that is the importance of pranayama. So pranayama is the, it is the regulated or the controlled way of taking breath. We are taking breath. Nobody exists without taking breath. All are taking breath. So how effectively we take the breath and how that will work for us, that is important. So effectively means the lungs capacity. It is actually, if you can say, only we can take the 20% of oxygen at a one normal inhalation. We are taking only 20%, and during the exhalation 16%, 1/6, okay, 16% it is from the medical survey I am telling you. 16% is again coming out, only 4% retention is there, 4% oxygen. But if we are through the practice of pranayama, if we are we are able to know what is the actual breathing techniques, if we'll able to know, or we'll just do some pranayam like nadi shodhan and all, so that will enhance our oxygen taking capacity, that will increase, so that we'll get so our immunity will be more, our blood will be, you can see here, this is the sectional breathing, this is called yogic breathing also. And here this you can say, this is the nadi shodhan. We are not going to that practical point of view. And this is called Brahmari. You can see this is three types. This is only the breathing technique. There are three lobes are there. For three lobes to completely feel, while inhalation, if you want I can show you, or we can just go for this breathing exercise right now. Shall we? Or we'll just skip this?
Continue, ma'am. Followed, madam.
No, we'll just see how, what is that breathing exercise, or Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, or just theoretically I just explain. What you want? Yeah, so Dr. Sasank?
Yes, ma'am, it will be better. If you will complete in that particular, in practical in 5 minutes, then it will be better.
Okay. Just I'm just stop sharing this slide. Again, I will continue. Okay, after that breathing
I think
technique.
Share screen is good, no problem. Your camera is on, we can see you also.
Okay.
Okay. Better we can go practical. 5 minutes is very important for us.
Okay. Let us sit. All of you, please sit. Just straight, with your spine straight, neck straight, head straight. Just one line. And it is important if you will close your eyes, then we can internalize or we can feel our breath inside from the three lobes of our arm. So we'll first, I'm just explaining this sectional breathing, how we can ensure your more consumption of oxygen through to your lungs. So when we are sit straight, that our lungs will be in a very good position to take the oxygen inside. So you put just, there are three sections, you can say, the abdominal breathing, thoracic breathing, and clavicle breathing. So these three breathing techniques for the three lobes of our lungs. So when our abdominal will breathe through our abdomen, it is for the lower lobe, and thoracic for the middle lobe, and clavicle for the upper lobe. Okay, so just sit, stand, and put your left palm on your belly. Just put your left palm on your belly and right palm on your chest. All right, then close your eyes and inhale with me, but just observe while you are inhaling, first your push your tummy out, then after some time, then first you one by one, then we can feel the difference, then we merge all the three. Okay, first we just abdominal breathing will see. Just inhale and uh, push your tummy out as much as you can. Push your tummy out, inhale as much as you can. Then slowly breathe in, push your tummy in, breathe out. Then, so this is your abdominal breathing. Then thoracic breathing, just put your palm on your chest. Then while you are inhaling, just expand your chest, expand your ribs are just pushing down, you pushing back, and you are expanding your chest. This is for the middle lobe. You're completely, you fill your middle lobe with air. Then after fully expansion, just relax yourself with breathe out. You can see how much your chest expands. Then clavicular breathing, just you feel, just keep your hands on abdomen and chest only, but you, while you are inhaling, just bring your clavicle upward, your shoulder or clavicle upward. Then exhale, relax your shoulder. So this is the three types. You can merge all these three. Then with one inhalation, you will just feel all the three breathing. Just see, slow down and inhale first from the belly, abdomen. Then feel your thoracic region by expanding your chest. Then lifting your clavicle region. Complete inhalation. Then after complete inhalation, just exhale, but the reverse way. First relax your shoulder or clavicle region, then relax your thoracic region, then relax your abdominal region. So you can just with your own, you can try one, two, or two more breath. This is our complete yogic breathing. So after this, we'll go for the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Nadi Shodhan pranayam is not actually a particular pranayam described in the textbook, but it is actually the as the word, the terminology nadi shodhan. It purifies all the psychic channels. The airflow is very much mm, very um, subtle, very easy way you can say. So Nadi Shodhan, it purifies all our, it is very much important to tranquil our mind. Suddenly you can feel the tranquility in our mind. For this, some techniques we use in the our, if you are sitting in the cross-legged posture or any meditative position, then it is okay. Otherwise, you can sit in the chair also, but one hand in the Jnana Mudra or Chin Mudra. This is called Jnana Mudra. Am I visible? I hope I am visible. I don't know exactly.
Yes, ma'am. Visible, visible.
So in the left hand, just join your thumb and index. This is the Jnana Mudra or Chin Mudra. Just put it on your left knee. Then other hand, yes. Other hand, there is a Nasagra Mudra. You just fold these two, middle and index, fold it, and other thumb and other two fingers. This is called alternate breathing exercise also. So just inhale from left and exhale from right, and then inhale from left, exhale from left, inhale from right and exhale. So first you press your thumb and the hold the right nostril, but lose the left nostril and inhale through left nostril. And as soon as you inhale, then exhale through right. Then after a complete exhalation, inhale through right only, then close the right nostril and exhale through left. This is one round. You might go for the 7 to 8 round for in one sitting, and immediately you can experience the calmness and tranquility. You can observe, just go for 3 round. Jnana Mudra for the left hand, and Nasagra Mudra. Fold this as the picture showing. Fold these two and place your thumb and other fingers in your right and left nostril, and then inhale through left and exhale through right, and again inhale through right and exhale through left. But uh, it is very important for your vital sheath or pranamaya process. Some retention is there, but when it is the simple one, what I have described, this is the simple one. The ratio, the inhalation and exhalation ratio is just 1:1. But when we are practicing for a longer period of time, you can go for the retention also. We just hold the breath inside, then we exhale. Before exhalation, we must hold that breath. That the count is there. Let us not go into. So move forward. Again, we have already discussed this pratyahara. Pratyahara is the actually breeze. It is the breeze between the outer sheath to inner sheath. So again, this is as, are you all there? Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just this video is only 2 minutes, is only 1.5 minute, I think. Shall I play this? Let's see. Let's see what actually this is the good example of our mind. You can see in Bhagavad Gita also said that this mind only the door of all the our discomfort, or the it is starting from the this all the emotions or outburst. It is starting from the delusion. It is, I don't know why this light is not visible. Okay, so this strong obsession or ambitions leads to the likes and dislike, that leads to anger, that leads to delusion, that leads to confused memory. And dhayate visayanang punsang. That is the verse number, I think, 2.62 and 63. You can see from this obsession, our obsessed mind leads to the loss of discrimination and loss of our, or you can say that is useless or perish or die. So this is the main cause is our mind, you can say. Again, Maharishi Patanjali also says that Panchaklesha, avidya, asmita, raga, desha, abhinivesh. And avidya or ignorance is the mother of all sorrows. अविद्या, अविद्या से शुरू होता है सब, जैसे हमारा जो भी वो जो अस्मिता, अविद्या इज द इग्नोरेंस, अस्मिता वेन एवर देयर इज इग्नोरेंस, as I said, I am ignored about my true self. So that I-ness is coming. This is mine. This is I and so. This I-ness, I always leads to illness only, nothing else. But if we feel we as the all are Vasudeva Kutumbaka, our philosophy says. So whenever there is we, it is wellness. So this I, asmita is the I-ness or egoism. And raga is the attachment to hold something, or likes, you can say, strong desires are the raga or attachment. Desha is the that again some dislikes, strong dislikes, desha, or you can say anger type of thing. Then avinivesh is the fear. These are the our all panchaklesha described by Maharishi Patanjali. And ignorance is the main cause. Whenever we are ignored, this leads to all these things, asmita, raga, desha. Is it audible to you? No, no.
Yes,
Yeah,
madam.
it's audible, madam. Audible, clearly audible.
Audible. Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am, there
Excuse
is
me,
no
ma'am.
sound.
Ma'am, Sharmila, ma'am, kindly unmute yourself. I think by mistake you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry, sorry. It was. Now it is audible. Hello.
Yes, madam. Yes,
Oh,
madam.
I'm
Audible.
sorry. I'm very much sorry. I don't know
No,
it is being.
yes, madam. Audible. Audible, madam.
Mhm. So I'll not take much time. It is already time. But I must say कि this is not this monkey is not representing ourselves only. We are just like that monkey and just try to hold and hold in spite of our threatening of the
Right.
life and happiness. Yes. So let us not go to that. Just I am trying to conclude it. Again, so another limb, this is the how Pratyahara helps us. That means to detachment, that is not attaching to this worldly or the sensely objects. So this pratyahara helps. So after this pratyahara, we will go for the dharana. Dharana is the described by desha bandha the chittasya dharana. So whatever we are doing, that if we are mindful, but nowadays this will be our status. All these they are in our mind only. It is always completely filled. But mindful is just mindfully or focusfully or concentration. With the concentration, if we are doing something or we are trying to take the beauty of that particular thing, then that is our concentration or dharana. So again there is another video, but let us not watch it. Then when there is the concentration is prolonged, that becomes the dhyana or meditation, you can say that. So what happens in the meditation? That self-realization occurs. Tadevartha matra nirbhasham swarupa shunyamiva samadhi. In samadhi, only the object is appearing without the concept. So we are so keen, so deep into that what we are doing or what we are observing or what we are contemplating. Or the dhyana dhi comes from two words actually. Dhi is the imagine, or you can say, or perceive, or think, or reflect, and yana is the path, or the journey, or the travel. So that means you can say meditation is the process or the path or vehicle to properly think or reflect. So that is the meditation. So whatever we are doing properly, we just establish in that in the 100%. Or you can say if we are in the process of coming down of our mind, or we'll just go inside deep inside, so that we'll realize our true nature, that is our self, or the samadhi is achieved. So swarupa sunya, that means the one self, we lost our identity, physical identity, I can say physical identity, that is the samadhi. Actually. So these are the after effects after following this Ashtanga Yoga. Again, I'll just quote Sister Sidani's voice. That is, no one is in charge of your happiness except you. तो आपकी खुशी का आपके अलावा और कोई जिम्मेदार नहीं है. This is again the responsibility comes to us only. With this note and with this the Santi mantra tells Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkhavat Bhavet. Om Santi Santi Santi. So with this I stop here. I'm sorry I am exceeding my time. So thank you so much. Thank you for your patient hearing. Any
Thank you,
doubt you can
yes,
ask me.
thank you, madam. I would like to request our audience, if they have any queries, they can kindly put up their queries to ma'am, or they can drop their questions in chat box.
They have no query, they must be hungry and they will go home and eat something, or I think.
Madam, thank thank you so much for this informative and I can say philosophical, spiritual, or yogic, many more terms for such a session. Actually, dear audience, technical world always needs a stability, and nowadays this technology is enlarging, it is spreading, so it needs a stability also. And yoga offers the technology to achieve such stability. I cannot, I am incomparable with ma'am. So what I have gained some knowledge from ma'am, I can say that this yoga, it offers the technology to achieve stability, because yoga improves health, mental strength, balance, flexibility, everything. And as all of us know that presently there is a crisis outside, and we cannot afford to create a crisis within ourselves. That is why we have to now use our innate wisdom. It should work, and that is only possible when we are relaxed. And that's why we need yoga. We need some spiritual remarks, philosophical remarks within the technology. So these are some of the ideas which I gained from this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for this.
Hasina.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this informative session. It was relaxing. This session was quite relaxing and
Thank you
completely
so much.
philosophical.
There are some questions in chat box. Can I take this, or if we are not exceeding too much of time?
Yes, madam.
I think, ma'am, there is no question. Question is for me, the attendance link.
Okay, just please put the attendance link
And also
as soon as.
appreciation for you that thank you, ma'am, and all this wonderful session like that. So from also from our
Okay.
organization team of it is really, ma'am, it is a as for non-technical point of view, it is very informative session also. So thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you. I'm leaving.
Yes, your ma'am.
Okay. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.